Supreme Court is once again facing accusations that it applies the law differently depending on who benefits politically. And this time, Justice Samuel Alito is, well, again at the center of it. Legal analyst Steve Vladeck says two procedural decisions this week highlight what critics see as a growing inconsistency on the court's emergency docket, especially in politically charged cases involving abortion rights and congressional maps. The first involves the abortion pill at the center of a major legal battle after a Fifth Circuit ruling threatened to restrict access nationwide. Alito temporarily blocked that ruling through what's called an administrative stay, but critics noted two unusual details. First, he waited nearly 48 hours to intervene, leaving doctors, pharmacists, and patients across the country in legal limbo. Vladeck compared that to a Texas redistricting case last year, where Alito reportedly issued a stay just 68 minutes after the request reached the court. Second, Alito added a strict expiration deadline to the stay, something that Vladeck says Alito tends to only do in cases involving parties that he appears unsympathetic towards, including multiple Biden administration cases. And then came the second controversy. Today, the Supreme Court agreed to immediately put its Louisiana redistricting ruling into effect instead of waiting the court's normal 32-day period. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson dissented, warning that the court appeared to be moving unusually fast in a case with what she called a strong political undercurrent. Alito fired back, though, in a sharply worded concurrence, calling Jackson's criticism baseless and insulting. But the deeper criticism centers on what happened in Alabama in 2022, when lower courts ruled Alabama's congressional maps were likely unlawful racial gerrymanders. The Supreme Court, with Alito in the majority, allowed those maps to stay in place for the midterms anyway. A year later, the court ultimately agreed the maps were unconstitutional. Vladeck pointed out that this directly conflicts with Alito's current argument in Louisiana, where he now says that elections should not proceed under maps that may violate the Constitution. The result matters politically. Analysts noted Republicans won several congressional seats in 2022 that likely would have been redrawn otherwise, seats that ultimately helped determine House control. If the same legal principles appear to change depending on which political party benefits, it's clear that the court could start looking much less like an independent judiciary and more like another political institution.